As you board, please move across your car to make room for everyone, and kindly offer available seating to those needing special assistance. If you're standing, please hold on to the handrails and stay clear of the doors. They will be closing in a moment. Thank you.
Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to another episode of Disney Assembled. I'm Troy.
And I'm Mimi.
And we are your happy little father-daughter podcast, here to create joy and share our love for all things Disney.
Disney Assembled is sponsored by our patrons over on Patreon, Brenda, Danny, Connie, Andrew, and Alexis.
Yes, thank you guys so very much. You too can help support the show and sponsor our efforts to get a show out every week by going to our website, DisneyAssembled.com, and click on the Become a Patron button. You know, tiers start as low as $2 a month. You get access to all the exclusive Patreon-only content, which we'll be doing some more of. We have a break in our work and school life coming up pretty soon. We're going to get some extra content out there for our Patreons. Yeah, really soon. Yes.
Yes.
And if you're looking for other great Disney content, audio content, I should say, music and podcasts like ours and all the great sounds, especially during the holiday season, go on over to Magic and the Mouse Radio. You should really check out Magic and the Mouse Radio. We have a link to Magic and the Mouse Radio on our website, DisneyAssembled.com. Scroll down, click on the Magic and the Mouse Radio icon there. But also just do a search for Magic and the Mouse Radio. Great Disney music and Disney content 24/7, 365. You can hear our show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So yeah, thanks a lot over there. We love being a part of that network, that Magic the Mouse Radio network. All right. So Mimi, I think we're going to be close. We may not get this episode out exactly on time this week, which is fine, but we are getting closer to getting it back on time as life is starting to settle a little bit. I know you just finished a very busy program for school that ran last night. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I'm so glad it's over, but I'm definitely sad. And I'm going to miss it, and I'll get to do it again next year, but, it'll be my last one.
Yes, it was a great time. I went and saw the second showing last evening and did a fantastic job. Congratulations on that. And it was wonderful. A lot of work went into that. And yeah, I know you're glad it's over, but lots of fun.
Yeah.
And the show was just fantastic. So good job there. Good job there. Yeah. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on in and around the world. Anything other than that to share with everybody? I know we have
Not right now.
Not really. No. Okay. Well, this week's show, we have an interesting topic that you and I sort of collaborated on to come up with. And do you want to share with everybody what this week's topic is going to be?
Yeah. So the pre-sale announcement for Taylor Swift tickets comes out tomorrow. So maybe not, I will be getting it. But for her album Midnights, she has a song called Antihero, and your curation of this idea has absolutely nothing to do with Taylor Swift. But it's worth mentioning that I want to go to the Taylor Swift concert. But basically, we listed 10 Disney anti-heroes.
Yeah, these are a list of our favorite, or at least the ones we thought of, right? You guys who are listening may come up with some other anti-heroes that are from Disney properties, right? Both Disney animation, and I think we have some Star Wars and some Marvel heroes in there too as well. So yeah, good stuff there.
Yeah. So we're going to save our little Thanksgiving themed episode for next week.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple of Thanksgiving. We're getting in the holiday season. We'll do some holiday episodes and we'll have those conversations. We'll share with all our listeners out there. So yeah, it's a great, this week's main topic. Disney anti-heroes. Anti-heroes, anti-heroes.
Anti-hero.
Anti-heroes. All right, great. We also have this week's Disney Dad Joke of the Week, and you did say you want to do Parks News with Mimi, so we'll do some Parks News with Mimi also as part of this week's show.
Yes.
All right. What do you want to start with? We'll start with Parks News with Mimi?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's get into Parks News with Mimi. And as usual, I will read 5 headlines from Disney News. This all come out about this week. And Mimi's going to let us know whether it's news or snooze. So play along out there if you're listening. You decide whether you think this is news or snooze based on the headline. All right, ready. And these are all real headlines, by the way. It's just whether or not it's interesting or not. Right.
Continue.
All right. First headline. Holiday Magic returns to Disneyland Resort.
Snooze. Like, I know some people get really hype around the holiday decorations, but they are usually the same every year. And they all come in around this time. And I don't really understand why everyone gets so hype around it. Unless there's something new added, like a light show or the castle being lit the way the castle gets lit at Disney World sometimes.
Right.
I'm going to be out. I'm going to be all snooze.
Right. Well, this is at Disneyland Resort. It runs from today through January 8th. And they were just talking about how both at Disneyland and at California Adventure, all the stuff's going on. They have the special holiday shows and characters come out in their holiday outfits and all that good stuff.
I don't really care all that much. Like,
it's fun if you're there, but if you're not there.
Yeah, if I'm at the park, I'm not focused on the decor.
Right.
I'm focused on the park.
Right. Well,
yes.
There you go. All right.
I'm going to miss the iridescent outfits, though. Those were cute.
So that's snooze.
Snooze.
All right. Second headline. Adventureland Treehouse at Disneyland returns in fresh new way in 2023. So they put out some, the treehouse in Disneyland in California was Tarzan themed, but it's been sort of under renovation and construction. No one really knew what it was about.
Right.
But they've released some of these Adventureland Treehouse images, and it's it's harkening back to sort of the original treehouse that was from Swiss Family Robinson. It's not going to be called the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. It's sort of the Adventureland Treehouse, which is sort of it's in the same sort of style or,
So
influence.
I have a very hesitant news to this for multiple reasons. So on the positive, I'm very excited every time something new comes to the park. Every time something new is being renovated or changed in some way, I'm very excited about it. And I'm really excited to see what they do with this Adventureland Treehouse thing because, that's just such a cool interior design, thing to create. A whole treehouse. That's so cool. However, I don't love the quote-unquote Adventureland Treehouse. I wish it had a theme. But at the same time, it's we want more intellectual properties, we want less intellectual properties. So I'm kind of in and out about it.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty excited if this is not an IP decor.
That could be cool.
I actually think it's really cool they may be going back to something that is not directly intellectual property.
Right. I just don't love the name being Adventureland Treehouse. That's so boring.
It's the Treehouse in Adventureland.
And then it says it's coming in 2023, which is so vague. And they keep telling us these very vague things all the time. And I'm worried that it will not actually come out in 2023.
Well, I think it will come out in 2023. They just don't have the exact date yet. But, all right. Well, so is that news or snooze?
It's news.
All right. So we have one news and one snooze. Now, the next headline is a little dated because it had to deal with the park, closing a little early because of the storms that went through. And this headline is phased reopening of Walt Disney World theme parks and Disney Springs announced for November 10th.
Yeah, news. Park opening back up again after a storm.
It was news yesterday, or a few days ago.
It was news 3 days ago.
Right, because this is November 13th. It's not really news right now, but it was news back then.
Yeah.
Right. The next headline dealt with parks closing. We're just going to skip that one.
Yeah,
because that was right. The next few headlines are sort of all related, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to put them all together. This is the foodie guide to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, the foodie guide to holiday treats at Disneyland Resort, the foodie guide to holiday delights at Walt Disney World Parks and Disney Springs. So it's all the foodie guides based on just the holiday foods that are coming to the different parks and resorts areas.
Yeah, so I jump back and forth on being interested in the foodie guides. Around the holidays, I'm pretty interested in them, though, I think, because sometimes they have really cute designs on the food, which can be cool. News.
Right.
Cool.
So we have 2 news and 1 snooze?
Yes.
All right, here's the next one. Disney parks record $28.7 billion in revenue for fiscal year 2022.
That is so much money.
And now that's just revenue. That's not profit. That's how much money they brought in. Remember, they have to spend a lot of that money
I know
as well.
how businesses work.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just want to make sure you understood. This
so
wasn't
much
profit.
money.
This is, a lot of money.
That is so much
Is
money.
it news or snooze, though?
It's news.
All right. It's news.
But how much profit did you actually make? That's what I want to know.
Well, they didn't say that.
I want to know how much they're actually spending.
They're spending a lot. I mean, they spend over 50.
Well, they have like 6 parks plus the cruise lines.
Well, let's put it this way: Disney World, just Disney World Resort in Florida, spends over $50 million a year. Million, not billion, but $50 million a year just on their fireworks shows.
Right.
I mean,
times 6, times plus whatever extra things.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying they do spend a lot.
Right.
They do bring in a lot, but they do spend a lot. And you also have to remember, it's
not just parks, it's animation.
Well, those are the parks. Because Disney brings in other money, like from ESPN and ABC and all the other properties they own, right? But I said that's news. So we actually have 4 news and 1 snooze? Wow. I think it's going to be a news week. All right. So we have one more headline. No, we have 3 news and 1 snooze, right? So we have one more headline. Right. One more headline. All right. This headline. This is from November 5th. This was a little dated.
A little while ago.
Remembering Disney legend Alice Davis.
Definitely news. It's always sad when someone who's been a part of this company, part of this, Imagineering story passes away. Yeah,
93 years old. She was instrumental as part of the Disney Imagineering team. She did a lot of work on It's a Small World and Pirates of the Caribbean. A lot of the costumes and just tons of work throughout the years, and all those great parks, all those things we've seen. Alice Davis, 93. All right, so that's news as well.
Definitely news.
All right, so it's definitely a news week from Parks News with Mimi. We had 4 news and 1 snooze.
Yes.
All right, there you go. Lots of news coming out of the Disney.
Awesome.
News. All right, news has went out 2 weeks in a row, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
joke time.
Is it joke time?
You gotta get the pen.
All right, you gotta get the pen.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do our Disney dad joke, and then we'll get into our main topic of the week, right? All right, so let's have this week's Disney dad joke of the week.
Oh, boy.
Mimi. King Triton.
Yes.
Ariel's father.
Yes. Ariel. Okay, you said Ariel.
Ariel. The Little Mermaid's father, King Triton.
Yes.
Originally, when they were writing the story, he was.
Your tummy's making sounds.
I know, I'm hungry. He was only supposed to be about 12 inches tall. Do you know that?
What the heck? Yeah.
Yeah, that would have made him a really bad king. He would have been a great ruler.
Okay. Yes, I get
12
it.
Inches would have been a great ruler.
Yes, I get the joke.
Yeah. All right. That's this week's Disney dad joke of the week.
That's terrible.
If you have a dad joke
really bad.
you'd like us to consider using, send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
That's really, truly very bad.
We're also on all the socials. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for the time being. Twitter. Still working through some discussions about whether we want to stay on Twitter, but that's where we are. All right. Main topic of the week. Anti-heroes.
Anti-heroes.
We all love a good anti-hero. Greek mythology has tons of anti-heroes.
I've gone as an anti-hero for Halloween 2 years in a row.
Yep.
Loki last year. Harley Quinn
this year, yeah. So do you have sort of a description for those who are listening who may not be up to speed on what an anti-hero really is?
Yeah, so an anti-hero can have 2 directions, sort of. Like 2 main general directions. So an anti-hero can be a hero who does the right thing in the wrong way, or a hero / protagonist of a story that doesn't necessarily have heroic qualities.
Right. They do good things. There's good in them, but they don't have a lot of heroic qualities.
Right. Like, for example,
there's a chance they could end up being a good guy at the end.
Or they play both sides. Like Catwoman and Harley Quinn tend to play both sides in their fights. Like Harley Quinn is really doing what she's doing to get back at the Joker.
Right.
So she is sometimes working with Batman, and so she's not all bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Disney has its share of heroes that may not have the best heroic qualities about them. Right.
Anti-heroes.
So we'll call them anti-heroes. And we have a list of 10. We have some honorable mentions too. We've
got 10 that we're going to explain, and then honorable mentions that we'll just sort of list off.
Right. So do you want to...
What happened to your thumb?
What happened to my
thumb? What
did
you do?
I don't know. I'm getting old. This is an old
person.
I must have bruised my thumb somewhere.
Oh, looks painful. All right. 10.
Doesn't hurt at all, actually. All right.
10.
Are we going 10 to 1?
10 to 1.
Are they
They're
really
not ranked.
They're not really ranked.
They're not ranked at all.
We have 10. And then we have some honorable mentions.
Yes.
All right. Who do you want to go with first?
10.
All right. And who is it?
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. All right.
Jack Sparrow's definitely an anti-hero for
He's
sure.
definitely an anti-hero. He was a pirate. He steals. He literally steals ships. You know he's killed people
Right.
over the years.
You see him kill people.
Right. I mean...
But he's the protagonist of the story who has some good in him. And you can see it in his character.
He does have some good in him. And you know that even though he's basically doing things mostly for himself, there are times where he's a little selfless, right? And does some things for other people. But yeah, definitely does not have the most heroic qualities. Like, I wouldn't consider Jack Sparrow brave. He's kind of cowardly.
Yeah.
But he has the ability to do something brave and selfless on the surface when it's when it's for someone else. But, there's always something in it for him.
He's definitely like a sneaky guy, but he's not all bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Good start. Good start. All right.
Anti-hero.
Next one on our list.
Loki.
Is Loki.
Loki is definitely an anti-hero. You see his progression go from like definitely a bad guy to like,
Well, he was the villain in the Avengers movie.
Right. But you also then sort of see that he's doing what he's doing for attention from Thor, like attention from Odin. Like you see him die, in Infinity War and at the beginning of that movie for like the greater good of the people. You see him in his own series watching himself be a bad person and then like actively try to get better.
Right.
Right now, canonically, he's fighting with Kang.
Right.
Well,
we'll see what happens in the second season of Loki.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he reset the timeline to save humanity, basically. So
right.
Loki is without a doubt an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's got qualities that certainly are not very heroic. Again, very selfish, looking out for himself. He's got a mischief. But in the end, he does team up with Thor from time to time, and he does do what needs to be done. Again, mostly for self-preservation, but sometimes it happens to be the right thing to do. Right?
Right.
All right. Number 8 on our list is we're going to move to the Star Wars universe. We'll go with Boba Fett.
Yeah. Boba Fett in the movies is not a good guy.
No, he is a bounty hunter. He's a killer.
He's not a good guy. But in his series, you see him trying to save his little planet that is escaping me right now. You also see him have this like level, this like capacity for emotion on a deeper level, like in the sands and everything.
Right.
So like you see him be a human at the same time as like, being a bounty hunter.
Well, the capacity is there to do a lot of damage and a lot of bad, but he is also a man of honor, and that sometimes causes him to make the honorable decision to do good things. In the Clone Wars cartoon series, you see some episodes with Boba Fett as a child, as a young man.
Yes.
And there was an episode where he really struggled with being purely evil, and he sort of paid the price for that, right? But yeah, Boba Fett, definitely anti-hero, definitely the kind of guy that you don't want to mess with. Doesn't have the most heroic of qualities, but when called upon to do something right, has it in him to do the right thing.
Right.
And we've certainly seen him turn out to be more of a hero.
Like he was doing a lot of sort of villainous things in his series, but he was doing them for the purpose of protecting this community from...
Right. Now, I would love to see a second season of Boba Fett, which I don't think we'll ever get, where I think he should turn back to being a bad guy.
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
The power and the money gets to his head.
Right. Like when I was watching it, I didn't like it very much, but now out of it, I kind of liked it. Yeah. I thought it was a cool show. I thought it was too slow. That's my problem with Boba Fett.
All right. Let's get back on our list of anti-heroes. We're up to number 7 on our list. This was one that I had listed because I remembered, and I love this live action film. This is the live action version of a character that's also an animated character. And in animation, considered a villain, but in live action, more of an anti-hero. And that would be Cruella de Vil.
Right. Cruella de Vil is only an anti-hero in her film, but I think that makes her an anti-hero overall. Because like now that like Cruella is Cruella, regardless of what film you're watching, right? Like it's the same character, canonically the same character. So you see her be turn into this like bad woman, bad villain character because she's trying to defeat the Baroness and take down the Baroness's like whole thing.
Right.
You also see her with this like capacity for emotion because of like her mother being killed by the Baroness, and like I don't know, those are just very like heroic qualities. But at the same time, she's the protagonist that has sort of these like funky villainous things to her,
Right.
which definitely makes her an anti-hero.
Absolutely. I mean, she has the capacity to do something decent, but I think as we will see with that character, the more powerful she gets, the more corrupt her outlook on the world becomes.
And we know that for sure.
Right. Because she definitely becomes pretty darn evil in the animated 101 Dalmatians.
Right.
Right. All right. Moving on to number 6 on our list. I'm going back into the animated universe. For this one, we're going to go with the Beast from Beauty and the Beast as an anti-hero. So explain how Beast makes our list.
Right. Beast makes our list. Sorry, I'm like doing school things at the same time. Beast makes our list because he's like a villain. Like you see him do these like terrible things. You see him kidnap Belle and Belle's father. You see him just be mean to his servants. But like he also has this capacity for love and affection that like Belle brings out the good in him, and he's a good character by the end of the film.
Right. By the end of the film, he becomes more of a hero, but certainly didn't start out that way.
Right.
And certainly there are qualities about the Beast through most of the film that are not really nice. He's got a bad temper. He, is a kidnapper. He throws people in prison. Like you said, doesn't treat his staff very kindly. But yeah, Beast.
Right. Beast.
Yeah. Definitely a hero by the end of the film, but not so much early on.
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. All right, number 5. We're like halfway through our list. We have Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes. So Wreck-It Ralph was the bad guy in the video game. Like he was the guy that Fix-It Felix was trying to defeat in the video game. Right. And so by his very nature, he has the capacity to be very destructive.
Right.
And
like he is
right.
He's
the one they're trying to defeat.
Right.
But
he is the villain in the game.
But he doesn't want to be the villain.
He doesn't want to be the villain.
And so he finds ways to try to be the hero.
And he doesn't really act like a villain all that much in the film either. But he tries to make nice with the villagers, tries to make nice with Felix, and then he just leaves, goes to Sugar Rush, and we obviously see him being a good guy in that aspect of him. But like that makes him an anti-hero because like by his character description, by his box that he's been put in, he is a villain who is acting in good ways. He's trying to do the right thing.
Continuing to do the right thing, he eventually becomes the hero.
He's trying to do the right thing, maybe not in the best way sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like by destroying Vanellope's car to keep her from racing.
Right.
That was an anti-hero moment.
Absolutely. All right. We're up to number 4 on our list of 10. We're going up to 4, right?
Yeah.
Up to 4 on our list of the 10, our favorite 10 favorite anti-heroes. This one from Zootopia, Nick Wilde. Nick Wilde, a con man. He's a thief. He's a con man. He's out to make a quick buck. He is not a nice character.
But he helps Judy Hopps solve the mystery and saves Zootopia.
Absolutely. Even if there was, again, some self-preservation involved in this, but by the end of the film, Nick Wilde becomes a respectable character.
And he's friends with Judy. And just like Ralph, too, by nature, by being a fox, he's looked at as a villain.
Right.
By like the bunny characters. Like they talk about that in the first half of the film. But like he's sneaky, he's shady, he knows a little too much about some things, but he works with Judy. Even though selfishly, he continues to work with Judy and helps save Zootopia. Absolutely. And then they become friends at the end.
That's true. Yeah, and he becomes a character that people have really embraced and enjoyed, being a good character. Right. So yeah,
he like Loki had a really solid character arc that went like all the way around.
Absolutely. And the new Zootopia Plus shorts.
Are those out yet?
They just came out like yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we need to watch. That's a lot we need to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot we
are so far behind our Disney Plus stuff.
Thanksgiving break.
Thanksgiving break can't get here soon enough. All right, we have 3 more on our list, and we have some honorable mentions. Number 3 on our list is
Stitch.
Right.
Stitch is a pretty, not one that I would have thought of, but now that I think about it, pretty obvious one.
Experiment 626.
Right, like you see him being crazy. Like you see him try to eat like one of the alien
There was a
characters.
reason he was a prisoner. It's because he was a destructive force.
Right.
He is an agent of chaos and destruction and not a nice character. Mm-hmm. However,
you see him come around. If you heard the email thing, no, you didn't. But if you see him come around by help of Lilo to become like a really nice dog creature.
Yeah.
Stitch is definitely an anti-hero in his film.
Right. Eventually, the love of a family and the appreciation of a family and being given a chance to allow himself to do good things, even though again, another character in his attempt to do good things sometimes is a little bit destructive and a little bit out there. Right. But ultimately, Stitch is a good character.
No, yeah. Like at the scene in the restaurant, he's trying really hard to make Lilo happy and make Johnny happy, but he accidentally sets the whole thing on fire.
Right. Because he just can't help himself.
But he is trying. And so Stitch, anti-hero.
Anti-hero for sure. All right. We have 2 more on our list before we get to our honorable mentions. The next one on our list, one of our favorites.
Flynn Rider.
Mr. Frying Pan Guy.
Definitely an anti-hero. He's a thief. But he also helps Rapunzel. Definitely like through some selfish moments. Because he wants the crown back. But you also see him, you see the moment where it becomes not about the crown anymore. And it becomes about helping Rapunzel just for the sake of helping her.
Right. Yeah, Flynn Rider, not a nice guy. Thief, wanted posters all over the forest, even though he wasn't a big fan of how his nose
turned out.
But yeah, I mean, just not a nice guy until, again, faced with having to team up with Rapunzel to get out of the sticky situation they're in, but then eventually gradually learning to appreciate her and then coming to fall for her for real instead of just pretending to get his way.
Right.
Flynn Rider, at his core, not a nice guy.
Well, no, at his core is a nice guy.
Well, at his core was a nice guy, but
doing some bad things. And he chose to not side with Mother Gothel. Like he made some character decisions that reflect the goodness in him.
And even turning on his 2 goons, trying to double cross them, like it's not a good thing, but it's a good thing in the sense that it double crosses a bad guy, but he's still a bad guy for trying to double cross other bad guys. And
you could even go as far to say that like the Snuggly Duckling guys are anti-heroes also, because they're kind of mean and scary and definitely evil, but they all have dreams.
They're malicious, mean, and scary. Their sneer could curdle dairy. Yeah,
but they have a dream. And they help save Rapunzel and Flynn in the end. Even though they really didn't like Flynn, they helped save him.
That's true. All right, we have 1 more on our list before we get to our honorable mention. And this was the first one we thought of when we thought of Disney anti-heroes. I'll let you do the honor of telling everybody what our number 1 anti-hero is.
Our number 1 anti-hero is Robin Hood.
Absolutely. All right, Robin Hood. He is literally a thief.
Yeah.
But he does it for the right reasons.
Right.
He robs from the rich to give to the poor.
He actually steals from the rich to give to the poor?
Yes.
That's the phrase is not rob the rich, it's steal from the rich.
Well, what's the difference?
The
Does
rightness.
It mean the same thing?
The rightness.
Isn't one like a synonym of the other?
They mean the same thing, but the phrase, the iconic phrase is steal from the rich, give to the poor.
But he's a robber. He's not a stealer.
Ha, 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 ha. Actually, that's fair. You should have said that one for a Disney dad joke.
Well, I don't know.
You guys didn't hear that.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Fair, based, whatever.
The problem with the logic of Robin Hood is once you steal from the rich and give to the poor, now the poor are rich and the rich are poor. And so you have to steal back from the poor to give to the rich so that, you see what I'm saying? It's a never-ending cycle.
So you can take from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle, right? I mean, I guess he was trying to balance it out, right? He didn't want to take if you take all the money from the rich to give to the poor, then you've just created more poor.
Right.
So
Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth what the others had to say. Reminiscing this and that and having such a good time. Golly, what a day.
That's right. I don't know that song as well as you do, but I do appreciate it.
It was on my playlist for a little bit. I don't really know why. I have a Disney World playlist now.
And we have a Disney Assembled favorite playlist on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify, do a search for the Disney Assembled. We have a link to it on our website.
It's very long. It's very long.
Yeah, you can listen to it. You can drive cross country and listen to it over
Robin
and over
Hood
again.
is the anti-hero. The Disney anti-hero is Robin Hood.
He's a great hero. We love Robin Hood.
He's the literary, general literary example of an anti-hero.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. So we have a couple of honorable mentions.
Wait, we should do a recap.
You want to recap? Yeah, do the honorable mentions? All right, let's recap.
At 10, we have Captain Jack Sparrow. At 9, we have Loki. At 8, we have Boba Fett. 7, Cruella DeVille, but only from Cruella. 6, Beast. 5, Wreck-It Ralph. 4, Nick Wilde. 3, Stitch. 2, Flynn Rider. 1, Robin Hood.
Absolutely. So that's our top 10. You may have a top 10 that you would like to
in actually no order. That is our top 10.
Right. you may have some people we didn't mention, but we do have 3 honorable mentions. So maybe somebody that you would have mentioned on your list is actually one of our honorable mentions. So Mimi, do you want to mention our 3 honorable mentions? We don't have to say too much about them, but these are 3 that didn't make our top 10, but that we feel are still worthy of being named as a significant anti-hero in the Disney universe. So why don't you name the 3 that we have written down there?
Yeah. Okay. So the 3 that we have are Ben Solo, like / Kylo Ren,
Right.
Han Solo, and I don't know what that says.
Bucky Barnes.
Bucky Barnes.
Yes.
Bucky
There you
Barnes.
go.
Those are pretty. If you apply the logic that we've been using in the last ones
Right.
to this one,
Winter Soldier, definitely anti-hero who's becoming a hero.
definitely
right?
an anti-hero.
Right. Becoming a
Ben
hero.
Solo, definitely an anti-hero, but in
Right.
the opposite direction.
Right. And Han Solo, he's a smuggler.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's not a really nice guy.
Yeah, not a nice guy. He's mean, but he took down.
Yep.
The
Empire.
Death Star.
Right.
The Empire. Just casually took down the whole Empire.
There's our list of
Yes.
Disney anti-heroes. High five. Very good.
That
All
was
right,
loud.
Mimi, why don't you share with everyone how they can get in touch with us so they can share their own thoughts about Disney anti-heroes or anything else you want to tell us?
So you guys can send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all at Disney Assembled. But if you want to support the show further, link to our TeePublic and Buy Us a Dole Whip and Patreon and all that fun stuff is on our website, DisneyAssembled.com. Make sure to check it out.
Yes, absolutely do that. And if you're on YouTube, check out YouTube, do a search for Disney Assembled. You can look for our handle too, at Disney Assembled at YouTube on YouTube. So youtube.com/at Disney Assembled. That's the little at symbol, right? Disney Assembled.
Yeah.
Check us out there. I've been trying to get the last couple of episodes on our YouTube channel. It's sort of an audio version. So if you listen to podcasts or whatever on YouTube, you can check us out there. Yeah. And if you want to leave us a voice message, telling us what you love about the show, there's a link at the bottom of the show notes. We'd love to hear from you if you have a chance to do that. And if you don't want to do any of that, if you just want to take a few seconds just to help us out, one thing you can do is really, really be helpful is leaving us a good 5-star rating and writing a nice review. You can do that on any of the podcast players that you use that have rating and review functions. Again, 5-star ratings would be preferred. And a nice little review. We'd love to hear from you out there. It really helps spread the word about the show. All right, Mimi. Anti-heroes, that's it. We're getting ready to get into the Thanksgiving and holiday season. Yeah, the holiday season. Yeah, coming up really soon. We're going to get some episodes out there. We may even we're trying to get some guests on the show, add to Captain Enchanting's Cavalcade of Happiness. And we'll see what happens here in the next couple of weeks. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. We hope it brought a smile to your face and added a little extra magic to your week. And until next time, see you real soon.